Our mission is to bring together the best venture capitalists to compete so you have the insights on how to invest with the best.
Give it up for Mac Conwell. This next contender has the best rhyming tagline in VC history. She can be found breaking down investing trends on CNBC, as well as backing the top pre-seed and seed stage companies as founding partner of 4 Acres Capital, the one and only Cardi B VC, Jenny Friedman. You've all heard of the phrase 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Well, this contender is the VC equivalent, the human Rolodex, and founding general partner of Eniac Ventures, the firm to get you from seed to Series A the quickest, Nihal Mehta. Our final contender is like a rising tide that lifts all boats, with a skill set that's yielded 2 successful exits as a founder, along with building, managing, and mentoring Facebook's first $100 million office, the managing partner of Oceans, investing in early stage startups, Josh Rahn.
Welcome to the most electric show in business entertainment. What we're doing today is obviously we're going to have a competition. Who's going to win, right? Top founders going against each other, top VCs. Who's going to be PrimeTime? Title belt might be given out at the end. Maybe. What we're going to do today, we usually subjectively vote, right? Tyler and I kind of vote and see who wins, and it's a little crooked at times, but we're going to leave it to you. So Slido, we're going to use Slido. If you could bring up the Slido, slido.com. You guys, you could vote on your phone. So after every question, you could vote on who wins. Mac is obviously trying to get your vote already. So 4 questions. We're going to have a vote after every question. See who has the best answer. And then 2 will make it into the finals. And 1's going to be the primetime champ. This is a big day, big night, big night. All right? You guys all ready? Are we all good? I think we are. All right. Let's just jump right into this, guys. I have my notes right here too, Jenny. So we're good. We're ready to go. Jenny, we're going to start off with you, but let's see. Ooh, Fund Flex. What is your fund's investment thesis and strategy, and how and why does it stand out amongst other funds? Humble brags are welcome, Jenny. We're going to have you start it off. Shots fired. Some people in here. I don't know. All right, we're good. We're good. Let's go to our favorite loser of the show, Nihal. In the best way, you've lost the most, but you've been on the show the most. You are a winner. Yeah.
I have lost the most.
Yes.
But I made it to the finals the most.
You've also won. You are also a champion. But tell us about your fund, why you're the best.
While Jenny was in the womb, I was building startups. And I built 5 startups. The majority of them failed. So I got my ample amount of scar tissue and muscle memory building companies. Kind of fell in love with that product market fit stage, pre-product market fit stage of the business. And started investing in and around that stage. Was lucky to be part of some big rides like Uber and Airbnb. Started the fund 12 years ago. We have some great New York companies like Attentive, Alloy, X-Wing, Ironox, Fox, Owlet, and more to come. But we are always investing when the shit is really hard, pre-product market fit. And I say my number 1 job is that of a therapist, being a seed investor. So that's me.
All right, I like that. If we could turn up the volume just a little bit, guys. or Josh just scream, whatever it is. But Josh, tell us about Oceans. Tell us about what makes you special and your fun.
So, not too different than Nihal. I'm old, which means that when you were in the womb, I had my first exit. And I'm a New Yorker born and raised. We are a 5-person fund. We do seed and pre-seed. We're all, our belief is that the future of venture has got to be operator-led. And we followed this young man on that journey. But my partner, Steven, was the president of Foursquare, had sold his company to Apple. My partner, Glenn, was the head of people at Google and Facebook and hired 12,000 people. My partner Sarah ran operations at an NLP company, and my partner Brian ran Time Warner's merger and acquisition group and bought about $3 billion worth of startups, teaching a print company how to be digital. And then I helped open up Facebook New York with 6 people in a Regis space, which means that I'm old. But that Regis, for you youngins, is called WeWork. There was no one there. There was $0 in revenue, and we grew it from, I guess when I started, the U.S. goal for Facebook was 11 million. When I left, it was 11 million an hour. We grew the team from 6 in New York to 3,000 and 275 to 15,000 in less than 9 years.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's not bad.
Are those Allbirds?
No, they're not. They're actually, my son bought me these RSUs from his future life, I guess.
Mac, you are the most popular VC in the world right now. Let's talk about it. I mean, what do you got? Tell us about your fun. If anyone hasn't seen the 20-minute VC or heard it, probably most downloaded.
I am sole GP running RareBreed Ventures. We invest in RareBreed founders everywhere and anywhere. So we believe that there are exceptional, talented founders everywhere. So we invest primarily in companies outside of Silicon Valley, New York, and Massachusetts. We'll still invest in those areas opportunistically, but the bulk of our deals come from elsewhere, doing pre-seed to seed investments. And the thing that makes our fund unique, one, we're based out of Baltimore. I don't know how many people here can raise their hands and tell me about another fund raised out of Baltimore, but I'll give you 2. NEA and Greenspring Associates. NEA is one of the top premier funds in the world. 2 other founders are from Baltimore. Their actually first office was in Baltimore. One of the founders of NEA is the son of one of the founders of Greenspring is the son of one of the founders of NEA. Their offices are literally right down the street from my house. I am building a fund on the shoulder of giants in a little city in the Northeast called Baltimore, Maryland. And we invest in exceptional founders in a company like Beauty by Me. It's a company out of Memphis, Tennessee, creating real-time manufacturing for the beauty industry. What does that mean? That means they can make nail polish in any color, true to form, from a color wheel or a picture. They can also do lipstick, foundation, and concealer. So for all you ladies, take a picture of your face. Get a concealer or foundation in your skin tone, true to form, every time. Men as well. I do subscribe to men wearing makeup because I'm also an investor in a men's makeup brand called Faculty World. One of the founders is based out of Toronto. The other one happens to be in New York. And they're both black young men, one with green hair and one with a do-rag. Can you guess which one is which? And that's why RareBreed is going to be amazing. It's going to change the game.
I think so. I think everyone sees it. We're going to open up the voting. This is more like a popularity contest, this first vote. That's fine, but we're going to open also up a little banter as people are voting. We're going to give it a minute of banter, vote on Slido. Who has the best pitch as a VC? If you haven't got the Slido, it's right there. But Mac, you think you get one of these guys on 20-minute VC or anything like that? Can you help him out?
I mean, I could always DM Harry. He's always, we talk on Twitter all the time, but I immensely respect everybody up here on the panel, so I wanted to give you your flowers now before I take the belt later. So thank you for being here so everybody can see me.
Mac's the best at smack talk, so. You got nothing? All right.
We got nothing.
We're gonna
we
move
got
on?
nothing except the Ravens are going to lose tonight, that's all.
To the Dolphins? 2 is not even
That's all I got. I just threw him completely off kilter.
Yeah.
He's now totally off balance.
You should have said it before the voting was, in. But we're looking at Tyler. This is the first time we're doing the voting right now. How's
We don't even get to our heads.
Yeah.
That's okay.
If we're not. Well, I know I'm probably in the top, but if I weren't.
Somebody vote for Jenny right now on Slido. Let's close that. Yeah. It's all right.
It's not that hard.
What do we got, Tyler? We're closing this out. Anybody in the lead?
Vote for somebody that doesn't have scripts in front of them with answers.
I didn't look down once. Didn't look down once. But this
I
is
promise you she will
preparation.
be.
Gotta show up.
So we're using on Zoom so you can use the second screen to look at your notes and stuff. Can't do that today.
All right. I think that if this doesn't work, I'm just going to start calling the points, and you know how that goes. It's whoever's giving me money on the side or whatever it is. You know?
Nice socks.
Yeah, thank you.
Not a problem, we're
Josh
here
is in the lead, but looks like Mac took the first round. All right, Mac. Proud of you, Mac.
Thank you.
Proud of you. We got 3 more rounds until the finals.
I know,
all
I
right?
know.
All right, so let's kick it into the second question here, all right? Hot sectors, Nihal. Hot sectors, what the is Web 3? Web 3? I don't even know how to say it, to be honest.
3.0.
Web 3.0, right? Oh, jeez. I should start off with you, right? What is Web 3? This is an honest question. I just have no idea. I have somewhat of an idea, but I'm mostly asking it because I want to learn about it. And I think a lot of other people want to learn about it. It's obviously changing the game, and everybody's talking about who's smarter than me. So I understand NFTs, crypto, Dogecoin, Shino-Ibas, and stuff like that, I guess is part of it. We're going to start off with Nihal. You seem very emphatic about it, and you have Nihal.ether and all this other good stuff. Give us your best definition. Let's talk about it, why it's going to change the game, why it's so special.
Yeah, I think, blockchain's been around for a little while, but now there's real momentum, real developers building on the decentralized internet. So I'd say the best summary of Web3 is Web 2 is when kind of incentives create you and your actions. Web 3 is when you actually create the incentives. And so everybody is part of the same collective organization, and they share in the upside of that organization, right? The best example, the easiest, most tangible example, raise your hand if you own Bitcoin or Ethereum or any crypto, right? A bunch of folks. As more people buy it, obviously the value goes up, right? That is a fundamental kind of position of Web3. Yesterday you might have gotten airdropped. I know Jenny didn't, but people that were on top of the .eth domain might have gotten airdropped some tokens, and that's because they created a DAO, which essentially meant that they gave people who got their ETH domain early more influence, and then they gave tokens to folks pro rata on influence. So it's an incredible new concept. We're still trying to figure out what that means. But as an investor, we think there's going to be a Google Web3, a Facebook Web3, a Twitter Web3, an Amazon Web3, that there's a whole nother cohort of massive companies that are built on the decentralized internet. That's why we're excited about it.
Mac, he's missing anything?
No, he's not missing anything, but really when you think about Web 3.0 or any of these concepts or any like your favorite companies you think today, you can think of them on a life cycle of somebody going into middle school and then coming out of high school, right? So every 7 years, we see this cycle of there's going to be a new massive social media, dating, whatever. And so for Web 3.0, we're just at that inflection point now, but it's all being powered by crypto and by the power of people, right? That is why, I'll shout out a company in our portfolio, used to be called ScholarMe, now it's going to be transitioning their name to Path, which used to be a platform that helps students to plan and pay for college. They are now looking to be the largest neobank for Gen Z consumers, and they're offering their constituents a credit card that's powered by a stable coin. And so as you use it, instead of getting points, you get tokens. But those tokens equal to value in the company. Imagine every time you swipe your credit card, you got stock in that company. That's essentially what they're building, right? And that goes to what Nihal was talking about. The collective is now getting some of the incentives to us. And so that's really what we're seeing in Web 3.0. And I'm really excited for not just Web 3.0, but what is all the infrastructure going to be to support it? And what does it look like? What comes after Web 3.0? What's Web 4.0 look like?
Jenny, what do you
There
think?
actually is a company where you get stock called Stock Perks, and you get shares of. So it exists. Yeah. Okay. So basically, data. So we're decentralizing data, and we're getting our privacy back. And what does that mean? And why is it exciting? Is because we're going to now own our own content, and we're going to own our own websites, and no one can really force us to take stuff down. The problem, and where it gets a little bit tricky, is censorship. So illegal posts, like hate speech, stuff like that. It's like no central person can just take that off the internet or take it off blockchain or whatever. But there's gonna be a lot more anonymity. So think about being on Amazon, wearing your Meta mask and checking out using Ethereum, or liking Nihal's post from a hidden wallet. So it's really weird. It's like a weird, different area of life. DAOs, Nihal mentioned it, but just to clarify, it's basically instead of having CEOs and C-suite execs make decisions about structural changes of a company and like voting on a company, you're going to have members of a DAO voting on structural changes based on the number of tokens they have. So there's so many moving pieces and a lot happening, not at all the same time, but going to be exciting to watch.
Sounds good. You guys are good. This is very informative. I'm getting this. Josh?
So
This is something
we
like
bet on
this.
platforms, right? Like our careers have been built on platforms. Google, Apple, Facebook, that's our team. There's going to be a lot of people making money. Web 3.0 right now smells like an unfettered amount of liquidity married up with a generation of people who have seen the greatest bull market in the history of time. So there's going to be a roller coaster. There are people going to lose their shirt. There are going to be people that are killing it. But our belief is that we're going to invest in platforms like that app that we invested in. For us, you know, we want to see it really grow. You know, you bring up a great point. To be candid, everyone, you know, I come from Facebook. It's like black licorice. Some people love it, some people hate it. But what they do know is that there's a throat to choke when something gets broken. In the decentralized world, the thing that we learned at Facebook very early on was it's all good until society starts using it improperly. So, you know, it all looks cute now, but I can promise you it is going to get really ugly. And the thing that we say is like, you know, how do you protect the user? How do you protect the investor? And how do you protect the platform? That's going to require a lot of stuff that doesn't exist today. So we're really kind of looking at it patiently and focusing candidly in other areas while everyone's running around throwing all their interest into an area that we think there's going to be one or two platforms that really rise up over time. But for now, it's you know, I mean, I have a 17-year-old who's up 380%. He doesn't even know what that means, right? So that just basically, you know, tomorrow's movie night is The Big Short for the family. So everyone's got to see what happens when the walls come crumbling down. So just kind of, I would just say for everybody, as you do this, think about kind of like this party will end. Just make sure you're getting off at the right time.
Okay.
Take it for the guy from Meta to be the Debbie Downer in this.
Meta's the place you're going to be able to hang your NFTs. Don't hate.
Open up the polls. We'll keep going. But the polls are open. I mean, how long are we talking about? This is like, I mean, you're telling me it's now, but when am I going to actually feel it and like see it? You know.
I actually posted on Twitter today picks and shovels of peeps developing like DAOs. There's so many different, there's so much different shit. Like, okay, think about this. Imagine if you were on, imagine a cap table and you get tokens based on how much of a value add of a VC you are to a founder. Like, every VC is helpful and adds value, but like if you actually had to work for it and show tokens,
I'd
like,
monetize the shit out of that.
Right.
that would be whack.
It feels like 95, 96 of the internet, you know, or like 2000, 2001 on mobile. It's like a wild west right now, but there's some big shit happening, you know.
I mean, I made my first $100,000 on pop unders, which was like the only, we knew that, right? I mean, like this is, I would just say like, there is chaos, and in chaos, people will be capitalists. And I just, you know, it is going to be the next web, the next mobile, the next social. But like, you know, on behalf of the person that was a capitalist back then and bought my girlfriend a house and a ring with it, like it's, you know, there's just, you got to have patience and you have to have endurance and you better be prepared to lose a lot.
Yeah, the good news is it's all liquid, you know, for the most part right now. I mean, that airdrop yesterday, it seemed like a scam, but folks
Do you
can
guys
convert
hear
it.
about the airdrop? Because
Folks can convert it to cash right away. So
Because
if you got your
every-
I'm doing it to rub it in because she doesn't have one yet.
Yeah.
The ENS domain, you can get your own name.eth. So
What's that website though? Give like.
you just Google like ENS domains, and basically think of it as a decentralized GoDaddy. And so this is your unique Web3 address. And in Web3, your address basically is your wallet. And instead of a crazy hexanumerical 16-digit code, I'm Nihal.eth. So everybody send me some Bitcoin. My address is Nihal.eth. And so anyway, anybody who got this domain yesterday magically got these tokens. And I was on the phone with, sorry, Jenny.
All right. So,
you guys, didn't you make money yesterday, or?
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone heard about it.
yeah, right. Humble brag.
No, I was on a Zoom with like a very well-respected investor on Tuesday night who didn't know about it. He logged in, and he had bought like 10 of these domains for 10 years. And as he was doing this, he's a very Web2 investor. We played like the Curb Your Enthusiasm music because he was like trying to figure out like his pass key and this and that. And then he shared his screen, and he turned out like $100,000 was in his wallet. just airdrop, just like that. So anyway, it's crazy. For ENS, there's $2 trillion of treasury, basically in this DAO, and they just literally distributed less than half of it to all the users, and it's real money. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, Nihal was saying that he bought Jenny.eth already, so he's going to sell it back to her. So that's interesting. Nihal won the round. Nihal won the round, so that's a big round.
Nice.
Mac and Nihal, we're all doing this off percentage too, so you still have some points on the table, so you guys are fighting right there, okay? Let's go into predictions. Cue the video. Look at that. Look at this prediction over here. I don't know what that is. What investment sectors will surprise us in 2022? Feel free to shout out any companies in that sector that we should all look out for. But you know, what is 2022 going to look like, and what investment sectors are there? Mac.
Grocery delivery.
Grocery delivery.
Fastest growing company in our portfolio is a company by the name of Buffalo Market. They've raised money 3 times this year. We'll probably raise a 4th. They have booked over $100 million in GMV for next year, and they're just trying to keep up with it. Why? All they do is they create a network of delivery trucks, so a lot of these small brands deliver their own products to grocery stores. Gives it a little bit more love and care, get to see the shelf space. Well, they're creating a network of those so that all these brands can work together to get better delivery, better care. And then they're also partnering with another company in our portfolio called Marra, which helps gig drivers better manage all the different gig work that they do. Well, they added in a piece called Work. So now one of those gig drivers can drive by a grocery store and take a picture of the shelf to be able to show what the inventory is in real time, something that these folks have never had access to. And just for context, the grocery market in California alone is an $86 billion market. I like those numbers.
Good numbers. Good numbers. GoPuff did pretty well. Josh.
I was just about to say, I hope GoPuff buys all that from you. Yeah. Listen, while everyone's focusing on that, we're in low-code, no-code space, right? That's a big play for us. We just had a deal with Play. They took some money from first round. I think it was like $9 million. Then we had Matic took 10 from Andreessen that we helped incubate. Look, the low-code space, I mean, I just remember a day back when you were in the womb where people were making code for apps. I mean, it's just like this wasted energy. No engineer wants to do it. It doesn't scale. Everybody needs it. The idea that you have to make an app from scratch is kind of like mind-blowing that it still exists and it's cross-platform. So we're really investing a lot in that as more in the channel of future work, because we just believe that people don't have time for that. And it scales to the hundreds of millions of customers almost overnight. So we're seeing that with Play, we're seeing that with Matic, and we have a couple others that are in stealth mode, but we're very bullish on the future work side of that with the low-code space.
Pitch pages. You should talk to Tyler. I know Tyler over there is in that. Who's next? So we got Nihal. Let's go over to Nihal. Crystal ball. What do you got? 2022.
Yeah, I feel like climate tech is just on the verge. Everybody's talking about it. Obviously, at the high level, you have companies like Tesla, Solar City, but there's a ton of innovation happening on the entry level with developers right now. So we have a company in our portfolio called Bedrock Ocean, and actually what they do is they're trying to map the entire ocean floor. So we don't know actually what 2/3 of this planet looks like. We can't even predict the weather, right? And actually a large part of why we can't predict the weather is because we don't know what the ocean looks like. And so this company is using a combination of third-party data, which is like geo data that's unstructured, not normalized, and their own first-party data. They're basically building like SpaceX-like torpedoes that they shoot into the ocean to measure pH, to measure temperature, to look at wildlife. And their vision is to literally map the entire ocean. Once we understand the ocean, we can understand a lot more about our planet and how to save it. And so that's the fundamental mission. And by the way, it's actually a good business as well, because oil companies and other companies that work in the oceans need this data to figure out, what's wrong with their pipeline or where to go next. And so that's how we're subsidizing the growth. That company is called Bedrock Ocean.
That's where the aliens are hanging out too, I hear.
There's aliens there too.
Yep, so we'll find that. Jenny, what do you think in
That was
2022?
a deal that Nihal didn't share with me, and I was still
Really
at.
nice.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You gotta check
He
that
gave
out.
me like the shitty version for the sky, or like whatever.
That one was called SpaceX.
That's not true. Okay, I'm gonna go with one that's way more exciting because these are all boring. Although climate one, I agree. Low code, I agree. Grocery store, I don't know.
That's the point.
I'm just trying
I don't
to
want people to agree.
vote for Mac. He should
I like being the contrarian. I don't want to say the same
That's
thing
one
they're all
round.
saying.
You got to win around that. This is
Okay,
you.
guys,
This is you.
I'm ready to win my round. Psychedelics. Ready for this?
I agree.
Okay, 2022
Do you have any? No, I'm just go on.
No, well, here's the thing. Psychedelics, think about the cannabis industry. Like, they were think about those first movers in LeafLink and Ease. They were printing money with CRM and dispensaries and marketplaces. This is the exact same playbook, but for psychedelics. And now all these drugs are being legalized and clinical trials are being approved, and all of this data is showing that like ketamine and psilocybin, they are way more effective in treating anxiety and depression than anything else out there. And then if you think about the market size, it's like, raise your hand if you're not miserable. See, everyone's miserable. That's why the market size is enormous. Everyone could benefit from some psychedelics.
Winning over the crowd here,
So-
you know? Sorry we didn't have booze here, you know? I'm
so
sorry,
like-
we're going to get booze
Free
later.
psychedelics on the way out.
So listen, guys,
Goodie bags.
I have the dopest portfolio company that like, I don't think I can say, but they just raised from the top one best investors on the planet, and you're gonna hear about it for sure. But it's basically like try some ketamine, and if you haven't heard about it, you will definitely hear about it as soon as it's announced, and I'll post all over. So stay tuned.
If we're in the business
We now
of
know where
just
she gets all her
winning this
energy
round, the
from.
three
Open
companies-
the round. Where can we get ketamine? Do you have a guy or a girl?
You know, it's gonna be direct to consumer ketamine. I'm telling you, it is 2022 is
Microdosing,
gonna
yes.
be
Josh,
crazy.
I just
You got a ketamine guy?
In the spirit of winning the round, the three companies that you named all had massive down rounds or got sold on penny stocks in Canada. So just as it relates to making the money,
Okay, I'm just saying the trend of
Good trend.
it's a good
the
trend.
white space in.
Josh wants to make money.
Oh, I mean, I get paid to make money.
And it's-
And win around.
Right,
You
so
want
I
to-
could buy ketamine if I need it, but I'm just saying I'm in the business of making money, and those businesses are going
Where
to
are you
Find
gonna buy
companies they
ketamine?
can't.
Oregon or the internet or my
That's-
17-year-old who's got a stockpile in his closet.
You're
I don't know,
living
that's
in
free. I already pay the rent. So
After party, after party.
You know,
Same place we got it in the
it was
90s.
called Special K before. Now it's called like, yeah, I got some ketamine before the meeting type of thing.
See, there we go.
You got anything else besides grocery stores, Mac? I mean, it seems like they all didn't like the grocery store thing.
That's the
I
whole
love
point.
grocery stores.
I like investing in
Delivery,
places. I like finding stuff that other people overlook. That's why we do RareBreed, right?
You're a rare breed, yes, absolutely.
It's the founder happens to be a Polish immigrant.
Okay,
It's amazing.
it's different. It's different. Do we close this out, Tyler? Jenny with the ketamine party.
There we go.
Jenny needed to win that round. Wow.
She knew her crowd. That's what that was.
I worked really hard for that one. Thank you so
100%
much.
of the vote with the ketamine, right? Let's try that out. All right. That was a fun round. All right, let's move into the last question. And again, this is going to be on percentages. So if there's some sort of push here, Tyler's going to give us who's in the lead by the percentages. Let's start up big news. Big news. Josh, have you heard? Facebook is changing its name to Meta.
Change my LinkedIn and everything.
Yes.
Magically.
Is this the biggest news of the year? And if it's not, what is? So let's start off with you, Josh. This obviously seems like you know that guy, probably.
He's a good
So,
guy.
he's a
Look,
good
at
guy.
the end of the day, the first 2 years of my experience at Facebook, the best engineers in the world would come down with crazy ideas, and I was like, that's nuts. On the second year, I was like, they're the most brilliant people I ever met. So I changed my tune to always bet on Zuck's engines, like always. I woke up one day and there was a thing called feed. Now every product in the world has feed in it. I woke up the next day and they told us we couldn't do mobile. The next platform bet was mobile, right? So like the way I look at Meta, AR and VR is a thing. It's a real thing, it's not going away. On the other end, you got Roblox, you got Minecraft, which is a younger audience. They're gonna meet in the middle. Someone needs to make like a platform for the chaos. This is what we saw back in the day with mobile. What you saw were people making crappy apps with a crappy user experience. If you can build a great platform, all the magic happens. Users can be using the products well. Engineers can code with confidence. And if they only had 3.5 billion people they could run at the platform, it seems like that may be a healthy running start.
Jenny, do you agree? Is this the biggest news of the year, or?
I mean, yeah, it's major. So here's the thing. It's not super exciting to talk about the virtual world when we've been sitting in front of computers for 2 years, but also I've tried those Zoom 2.0, like have you guys tried them, the betas where you like you have a little avatar and it's not that exciting. The novelty wears off pretty fast, at least for the Web 2.0, and you have to really interact with the screen, which isn't that much fun. I think that the announcement, Facebook Meta, it was definitely heightened awareness about the metaverse and was super exciting. But you have to realize, like, we're more than a decade away from living in a full-fledged virtual world. There's a ton of time and cost. It's going to go into latency and slow internet. So just chill. But if Roblox and gaming and the explosion of all that is any indication of like what the metaverse is going to look like in other aspects of our lives, then like, of course I'm all in. I'm not going to go against Zuck.
You brought up Roblox. My man Max is a big Roblox guy.
Yeah.
From the start, right? From the IPO, he's
I'm
pushing
a-
that on our show. So that was pretty good. I think we started at 60 and now it's at 90.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think is the biggest news of the year?
So I think the biggest news of the year goes back to something Josh was mentioning earlier about this crazy bull market we're in. So we're all here because we care about VC and we all care about dollars. Last year, I believe there was 160 unicorns. By the end of Q1, there was 158 already this year. If you want to talk about large rounds, these are rounds of 100 million plus. There was 166 billion put towards large rounds all of last year. By the end of Q3, we were up to 248 billion. Right? There's far more money and liquidity in the market, which means there's more funds, which means there's more funds going to companies, which means companies are raising money a lot faster, which also means that the innovation curve is happening quicker. So I do agree with Jenny that the metaverse is going to take time, but as in the direction the bull market is moving, we're going to see some really interesting things pop up a lot faster. But we also know from, if you look at the way the market moved in 99, going into 2000, it could be a little something on the other side of that. So are we in for a roller coaster? Who knows? We've been in the bull market for almost 15 years, right? And that is a great thing. It's a great thing for all of us, which means all the numbers for RareBreed's portfolio is looking great. TVPI at 1.72 in less than 9 months. I will take the pat on the back for that. But everybody else is doing really well as well. So let's ride the wave. Let's make some crazy shit happen. And when the bottom falls out, make sure you're holding on for dear life.
Yes, make everybody here a
I
unicorn.
agree. I mean, the one thing I would say about the time zone, the time window on that is 2001, 2008, the greatest tech innovation came out of crisis. We just had the last 18 months with the best engineers in the world bolted in their homes with nothing to do but code and stare at problems. So for me, the liquidity thing, and that's why we're in seed and pre-seed. Like, we don't let Tiger and everybody spray and pray. But what we're going to do is, it's pretty insulated right now. The seed's a little bumped up. But what we know is that we're seeing more deal flow from the best talent than we've ever seen. All the engineers that were sitting there that had exits in New York. I mean, we're New Yorkers, right? Like, at the end of the day, you don't ever bet against New York. You have the best talent in the city that have been literally bolted in, staring at massive, whether it's education, whether you see climate issues, whether you see access to financial capabilities. I think that we're going to take valuation. I think you're going to actually see a tech explosion like no one's ever seen before, and it's happening right now. I mean, I can't even imagine what's in every one of our inboxes from a deal flow perspective. And
You
the
notice
edge
how
talent
he's
is
trying to
rock
steal
stars.
my point with nuances when he already had a chance, right? He's trying to steal my point. Just remember, all that came from me. We had 2 minutes. I got my point
said
out.
nothing
He's trying to
about
add
TVPI.
nuance.
We
you
still
know.
have
99,
Nihal
it was
on the
all
panel.
Hey,
Nihal.
Save the best for last here, right? So I had a little post on LinkedIn and Twitter and Insta that blew up a couple weeks ago when Zuck announced Meta. I said, "This is my life's work, Mehta," which is my last name. Finally, the whole world caught up to me.
Dad joke. Nice.
Bad joke. Dad joke. Exactly.
Dad joke. Yes.
So
Dad
a couple comments. Yes, New York is incredibly right now accelerating within tech, Web3, fintech, health tech, everything. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Yes, I think we're still at the beginning of this bull market. I think we're first or second inning. Venture-backed companies represent less than 1%, believe it or not, of the entire economy. These companies are not disrupting incumbents, they're replacing them, right? 20 years ago, the number one stock by a company by market cap was General Electric, right? Now it's Apple. These things are moving so quickly. Back to the metaverse, it's not going to be owned by Facebook. It's not going to be owned by Google. It's not going to be owned by Apple. It's going to be owned by all the developers. And by the way, I would argue, to Jenny's point about when we will become virtual, I would argue most people are already living in the metaverse right now. The metaverse is not just a headset. It is the percentage of time you spend in digital relationships. All right, there was a great Twitter thread, you guys probably saw it last week, that argues this from a philosophical standpoint, that once you are above 50%, which by the way, most of us probably are, certainly during the pandemic, interacting with people digitally and not IRL, it could be argued we're already in the metaverse, right? This is IRL, this is amazing, this feels incredible. But fast forward, I don't think it's 10 years. You don't need a headset either. Because by the way, our kids, I know my kids, Roblox, Minecraft, my 6-year-old's in the metaverse, right? And a lot of us in this room are. So Meta's here, Mehta is here. Vote for Mehta, let's do this.
Polls are open.
Can I also
Polls are
say,
open.
Was anyone invited to the Gucci event in the metaverse? Because I wasn't. And I'm
Nice.
just
Because you needed a .eth domain.
and I'm like trying to rebel Gucci now. Not that I can afford it, but like, what the?
Mac,
But I heard it was awesome.
Are we still a buy on Roblox right now? 90 something? I saw a jump.
I'm
this week.
a long time holder, so like I just buy and hold. So.
I
Until our
mean,
government gets its act together, those guys should be. I mean, in a world where our government had their act, like wasn't just chaos, someone would buy them.
Facebook should buy Roblox.
They can't. They can't buy a car. The government will come in and tell you you can't drive a car.
By the way, the Zuck Meta announcement was also a big distraction, right? Like
Yeah,
all of a sudden we
totally.
forgot
Yes.
about the whistleblower, right? Because like a week later, Meta.
Yeah,
So
totally.
that was a beautiful like Trumpian PR stunt, for sure.
We also, sorry, not me to talk about myself, but like, I just want to
Too late.
make sure everyone knows. Did you guys realize how many times everyone's like, to Jenny's point, to Jenny's point? Like, I'm carrying everyone on my back.
You got broad
Just putting it out
shoulders.
I haven't said that
Sharing
yet.
us.
I haven't said it to Jenny's point yet.
You did once.
Did I?
It's on the film.
Polls
Is it on
are,
the film?
polls are
Check the
closing
date.
soon. I
feel
don't think
like
we have
To
it.
Jenny's point, she does not have an ES domain.
Just not gonna let that one go.
Someone's trying.
I'm
to buy
done
it
now, I'm
out
done,
in the crowd.
I'm done.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Look at that. Nihal winning another round.
Oh, you
Which-
never won.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
You deserve
Thank you.
this.
Tokens
Unbelievable.
for everybody.
Well, he's in the finals. So
Unbelievable.
who's number 2?
Who's number 2? This is my
Mac.
favorite part. Cutting somebody right now.
I've never not made the finals, so I'm gonna
get
feel
cut.
some type of way.
I don't, wow. It looks like Max. I didn't even see that. Can you hold that up again? It's very. He writes very small, and he drops it. Well,
I can't see that far. I gotta go
I have
over
great
it.
eyes, but we're cutting some people right now. Nihal and Jenny in the finals. You guys can stick around.
What's up, Bestie?
You guys can stick around.
What's up, Bestie?
Listen, you guys can stick around.
Y'all do realize the first time I've not made it to the finals. Y'all really
That's
didn't
true.
vote me?
That's true. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. If you want to turn and just like face them, because we're gonna
I'm
harass
just gonna
them.
walk over there and get myself some water.
Yeah, no. All right, go get your water. Come back.
This is like
we want
the
you
young
back here.
grasshopper and like Mr. Miyagi and Karate Kid.
All right, let's jump into the finals. You guys can have the banter too. Your mics might be on. I don't know, but listen, finals. Jenny, Nihal. Oh, geez, original. Look at this.
Yeah,
Avengers.
true.
I don't even know what the question is. Superpowers.
I was going to be here for Halloween.
Superpowers. What top characteristics do you look in founders when considering an investment? What's a top superpower of a founder when you're looking at their deck or you're talking to them? Basically, what makes a good founder? What's their superpower?
You want to go? You go. You go. Ladies first. You sure? Okay. You gonna copy me? Grit, resilience. If I meet a founder that has failed before, I get very excited. And I want to learn more because the second time around, you got muscle memory, you got scar tissue, you can see around corners subconsciously. So I look for a little bit of that failure and that chip on your shoulder, right? Like why is Elon Musk still building? He doesn't need to. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's got a lot of chips on his shoulder, right? And that is the ultimate motivational pressure to create something great.
And he's an alien. But Jenny, go on.
To Nihal's point, I used to work for him, LOL. Can you imagine? I worked for him. He's been saying that since 2015. I think that founder, I love a team of 2 or 3. I love to see if they've had synergies in the past. Not saying they had to have worked together, but like, were you guys roommates? Is there anything that indicate that you're not going to break up? Because like, management team breaking up really sucks for everyone. And resilience, all that, drive. But the number 1 after the team thing is really resourcefulness. Because like, if they're relying on the VC so much to do
Yes.
a lot, and the connections and all that, which is amazing because we are working for them. It really has to be a two-way street. So resourcefulness and just being super scrappy.
That's his girlfriend.
Really, really important.
This is you.
All right, we're gonna keep
It's
going
literally-
with this. The
Conwell
voting is
just
gonna be
texted
at
me.
the end. So
We
we'll vote at the
threw
end who
apartments
wins
and
the best out of 3 here.
Yes.
So next question.
Yeah, I'll send you.
Oh, it's gonna drop on us right now. Well, drop some knowledge. This is what we want. We want you to teach us a little something, right? So what's the best growth hack that you've seen from one of your portfolios?
I'll go. Not my portfolio company, but give away free money, have the Twitter sphere go crazy, have people like Nihal talk about it nonstop, and just airdrop money everywhere. If my portfolio company were, ENS, but that's not possible. But yeah, PayPal did that. Just give away free money, people talk about it, get the Twitter sphere to go crazy, hack.
Free money's good. Free money's really good. Doesn't get much better than free money. In the SaaS world, one of the best growth hacks we've seen is actually going deep with customer interviews. Interview 100 potential customers and ask them what they want. Ask them what they need, what their pain points are. It's actually pretty simple. It just takes a little bit of time. You will find a common thread after 20 of them say the same thing, and then you go build it. And by the way, the best hack there is you already have 20 customers that are ready to pay for it because you built it for them. One of our best companies is a company called Attentive here in New York. We led the seed there. The last round was at $8 billion. They basically provide SMS workflow software for retailers, e-commerce. When you get those crazy text messages to buy something, it's usually powered by Attentive. And that's exactly what they did. They asked 100 enterprise customers what they needed, and they needed a really elegant, robust SMS workflow solution. And they're off to the races, soon to be a decacorn.
Okay, all right. We got one last question. I haven't even told them this question. We kind of made it up on the fly, so we'll see what happens here. And I don't think we have a graphic, which I wish we did, but Vegas just recently released Whitney Houston's virtual holographic concert, right? Pretty nice. I'd like to go, right? It's pretty good. So the question is, for your holiday party that's coming up for all your portfolio companies and your fund, and all of us that you're going to invite, potentially, who would you have as your holographic guest to perform or speak or whatever it is? It's got a little bit of dead or alive type question. So who's your holographic person?
It won't be Travis Scott. Ooh, that was super sensitive. Sorry.
Too soon.
No,
Too
but
soon.
like, it wasn't. No, it wasn't a joke. I'm saying it won't be Travis Scott. Who puts on a dope show?
Nihal, you're allowed to talk over
I'm
and jump in this
obsessed
air.
Let me just tell you, Whitney Houston is like my #1 person.
So you're going to bring her in, yeah.
She is.
I thought Kim K was.
Oh yeah, but she doesn't sing.
Yeah.
She performs all the time. Whitney's just my girl.
Nihal, you going Kim K or Whitney Houston? You gonna copy her?
Yeah, no, I feel Whitney for sure, but I grew up on Nirvana. I grew up on Kurt Cobain when I was in high school, and I think I was to bring somebody back. A little, it smells like Teen Spirit, for sure.
Okay, Nirvana. I like that. Okay. Polls are open. Who's gonna win there? Who's gonna win the belt? First live in-person thing. This is like the drama has started.
Travis Scott thing was too early. It was too soon. I know, but even mentioning it.
Sorry. Polls are open. 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 Polls are open.
You think you know it's still?
We're gonna have drinks afterwards at Pig and Whistle. By the way, if you guys want to go down there, it's 48th Street, right through Rock Center. So if you guys want to hang, have drinks.
Problem with the Coinbase account. You have to submit a
I'm
ticket.
gonna leave this open.
Yeah, because it should happen instantaneously.
How can
Coinbase
people send some decks to you guys? How can they reach out to you?
So
We got some founders
we're
sending
very
decks.
active on Twitter. Actually, Jenny, when we were working together, she was not active on Twitter at all. Now she is. Today you were. And
Thanks for checking my shit so quick.
because you're tweeting every fucking second. Anyway, you can find us on Twitter. That's the best thing, to respond, to engage with us. I pretty much respond to every DM that I get eventually. But I think it's great because anybody can ping anybody on Twitter.
Polls have closed. Nihal, you are a winner. Everybody, unbelievable. Kick the chair over. Unbelievable. This is, listen, you have the stage, Nihal. Yes! Nihal, you have the stage. Jenny, if I had a broom right now.
Oh, this is pain.
Dude,
It was because I said the TS thing. Yeah, it was.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
what do I do?
You talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Where's the after party?
State of the market, New York City tech. I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. Give us a pump-up speech. Do you, dude?
Oh man. Well, first of all, who in the room's an entrepreneur? Awesome. Just keep going. You know, it's a long journey. When I first started as an entrepreneur and then in venture, I didn't realize the best companies take like 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, and even longer. People are like, oh, I'm not going to be an entrepreneur anymore. But that's it. You know, it's all about timing and persistence. And you know, all of a sudden Zuck announces Meta, and everybody that's building in like the 3D world has a new lease on life. So you never know when the market's going to come at you. But the other thing I realized also in venture is just be very generous with your time. Last week was NFT NYC in New York. I don't know if people were out. It felt like South by in 2008, 2009. And out, you know, I'm like a kid in the candy store when they have these parties, and I was running around. And actually, two folks came up to me in the middle of the night at Marquee. Yes, I was at Marquee. Dead mouse is spinning. And I didn't recognize them. It happened like about 30 minutes away from each other. And one guy came up to me and said, you know, you don't remember me, but 11 years ago, when you were building your startup, I reached out to you, and you took a meeting for 30 minutes. And I remember I came up to your office, and I saw these like 50 people that you had. I saw your dog, and I was inspired. And by the way, then I was nobody. I was nothing. I was just starting out. And that made such an indelible impression on me that now, when people reach out to me, I always make time for them. And I got a dog. I looked him up on Twitter, and this guy's like one of the top, you know, crypto entrepreneurs out there. I looked up his wallet, because you can do that too. He's got like 400 million in Ethereum. He started investing that 10 years ago, right? And this total random guy, he came up to me in the club and said that, you know. And so anyway, you never know. Always give people the time of day. Always take that meeting, and always pay it forward without an ulterior motive. And I think that's what I really learned in venture as a superpower. And it can be exhausting, but it's always worth it, because life is long, and you never know, you know, who folks you meet that you might help out, or might just show them your dog in your office, what'll happen, you know, in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. So that's it. That's my speech. All right. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Charlie, to Tyler, to Nihal, to this PrimeTime crew. These guys also, from a generosity standpoint, just keep on giving it back to the community. You started this in the pandemic, and you really like kept a lot of us together and excited, you know. And now we're flipping this over to IRL.
All right.
So
we're trying to do this every month now.
This guy dresses.
Charlie's Taylor, 46th Street. Shout out to them. Drop my name. It'll work, all right? Appreciate this. Listen, we're going to try to do this in Brooklyn, I think, in December at one of the Rudin buildings. Tishman, again, thank you so much, Tishman Speyer, for hosting this. It's amazing. Pig and Whistle, grab some pizza before we leave. We're closing out at 8 o'clock, so we got 10, 15 minutes. And let's have some drinks, you know? Let's have some fun. All right, thank you, guys. Oh, that's a good point.
Dude, what is the front? Huh? That was dope.
That's awesome. Jenny.
Oh, she's so cool.